wrong. This is how it is now. MAF is in the right place. It's got a recirc valve on it. Recirc is facing the right way, not like it makes any difference, but I swapped it around both ways. And it works. Decent fuel pressure reg, the right sort of pressure. The injectors, the fuel pressure, the MAF, everything is basically correct for this chip. This is a known working chip off a different car. I ran a very similar spec with no problems. And yeah, this is even a replacement ECU. The one in the car I didn't trust, and I got another one out of another car, and it's acting exactly the same. Yeah, I'm a bit lost. I bet you if I put the MAF back to there like I did previously, it'd work again, but run a bit lean again. A little bit, not loads. But for some reason, it, even with the recirc valve, it absolutely shits itself mounted there. And it's at all times, not just like on, you know, coming off the throttle after boosting. It's straight from idle. As soon as you turn it on, it's like flat 10s, which shouldn't matter, you know, even if you ain't got a recirc valve, you know, there's no boost at that point. So I am a bit fucking lost. I've smoke tested it and there was no leaks. I don't fucking know. The person who ran this chip before even ran this chip with much bigger injectors than this. He ran it with these injectors for a while, then even bigger ones with a bigger spec car, and it was all fine. So it's not like this is over fueling because of that. Maybe the MAF's faulty, but if the MAF's faulty, why does it fuel okay, which is not great, if it's blow through? I'm fucking lost. I don't even know. Honestly don't know. Good flames, but apart from that, it's a fucking nightmare. Simple problem, clearly electronic based, as in something to do with the fuel in or ignition. But exactly what this problem is, I don't know. I'm usually pretty confident, proud of the fact, maybe, I don't know, confident that I know how to fix things, how to fault find. But I'm fucking stumped with this one. I've tried everything. Well, I haven't tried everything. I've tried everything that likely would be, and I'm a bit fucking confused. I'll try a different MAF, but these 3-inch 960 MAFs are like fucking hen's teeth.
1 hour later!
I've just put a standard MAF on it, as well as the larger one, and I put the standard one back in the blow-through position, and left the larger MAF, which is what this is mapped for, in the correct position before the turbo. And now, although it runs richer, which it probably would, considering it's been this chip is for a larger MAF, it runs better than it's ever ran. Really nice, to be fair. So I think the next job would be to put that MAF, smaller original one, back in front of the turbo and see if that runs the same. And if it does, then this problem is some kind of faulty larger MAF. So now I'm going to swap things over, because now it runs quite good. I mean, it's too rich still, that's idle, and it's almost flat 10 on boost, but it drives quite well. It feels good, just too rich. No stuttering, no nothing, picks up well, sounds pretty badass. So I guess now I just swap the MAFs over to the front and see if that helps. don't know how well this footage is going to come out because it's fucking dark, but that's where we are now. Earlier today I changed the distributor cap and rotor arm, not because it solved my problem, but because it needed it. And I had to change the plugs anyway because they'd all fouled up from the rich crazy running, which you would have already seen on this video. The date on the distributor cap is 1998, so for all I know it's not been changed for like 20 fucking years. And considering it's mounted at the back there, right by the bulkhead, in quite an awkward place. It's not actually that difficult, but it's an awkward place. Yeah, it might well have not been changed. I bet it gets ignored a lot. But what we got now is the 3-inch math back there, because I've proved with testing the other night that putting the 3-inch or the known good standard math in front of the turbo, even with this recirc valve, makes it go crazy. I don't know if it's the type of turbo, what somebody claimed it was the type of turbo, and the amount of turbulence the big compressor wheel gives that causes a problem. But no matter what, recirc valve or not, the MAF sensor don't like it. When I ran the standard MAF sensor in that position, it ran better than it's ever ran. It was too rich, because with a smaller MAF than it was mapped for, it would run too rich, but it drove pretty fucking well. But with anything in front, no matter what size MAF, it drove like shit. So maybe with this new chip, which is known good on other cars and is pretty much for the spec, this 3-inch MAF back here should work. I say should because I don't know, because I was about to go and try it. The thing has run out of fuel because it was empty, but I thought it'd be enough to get me down to the petrol station, but I didn't even get out the fucking road. So yeah, if this don't fix it, I'm really stumped, and I'll be down to changing things which I'm fairly certain isn't the problem. I mean, coolant temp sensor and lambda sensor, neither of them make sense, because that wouldn't affect the fueling at all times like it does, because sometimes it runs perfectly at idle in closed loop mode so the lambda should be working, otherwise it wouldn't do that. And again, for the coolant temp sensor, regardless of it failing, it shouldn't make it run that rich, hot or cold or just everything. And then, like I said, it doesn't matter because it's only that rich sometimes if the MAF is pre-turbo. If you put the MAF there, it's normally lean. So if it's a coolant temp sensor, it would be rich all the time or lean all the time or whatever. It wouldn't be affected by that. The one defining thing is where the MAF sensor sits. But it does seem, at least from the testing I've done, that MAF sensor isn't faulty, because the good one behaves the same whether it's there or that one's there. So and the good one drove like this one used to, as in fine, but too rich here, whereas this one on the old chip was fine apart from too lean. So it's entirely possible the problem all along was the shit map. It wasn't suited to this spec, and now it'll work. But until I put some fuel in this fucker, I won't know. Also, I've changed the inlet setup again. I've got a little change to the diverter valve. At the moment it's one off a Twingo RS turbo, but that will be changing shortly. But I'll explain a bit of that another time. I want to change the coil to a COSI Group A coil that I've got kicking around, but I haven't got around to it yet. But again, seeing as it wasn't a misfire problem, the coil isn't the weak point here, but I want to do it anyway. But yeah, it's entirely possible, and hopefully highly likely, because I'm running out of ideas of what it even could possibly be, that this will fix it. I've been given a million ideas by other people, but because none of them seem to know the full story or whatever, they don't realise it's not relevant. The only last relevant thing really is this. Anything else is going to be a bit bizarre because it's not strictly relevant, but fuck knows, we'll see. So watch your space for the next video.